our co-starters mingling. Good morning, everyone. If you can find your seat, that would be fantastic. Coffee, oh my gosh, look at the littles. Oh my goodness. Wow. Many entrepreneurs are in the space. That is great. Welcome. Welcome, everyone. 1 million cups through Kauffman Foundation. It's happening across the nation. And we're up to, I think, 140. So somewhere in the United States, there's other 1MCs happening. I am delighted that we have a 1MC in Grants Pass. So, right? We are part of it. We are small, but we are mighty. So, but thank you for being here. And I was, wondering about the snow, if you would all just kind of take a snow day and decide that it's too much to be here. I had to share when we started in September, Trev, 2024, it snowed and I drove really slow and I thought, gosh, I can't not be here. We just started the 1MC. People are going to show up. I have to show up. And is Joel in the room? I thought I saw Joel. Oh, there's Joel. Yeah. And I showed up, and it was like I knew that it was going to work. When I think there was like 12 or 13 of us. Joel was one of them. And we got coffee, and we snuggled down in here, and we had some of the best conversations about our community and what we were doing. And that's what I want to remind you. The 1MC is about that sharing. Entrepreneurs that are in that space, they're sharing their story, their struggles, their hardships, where they're going. And I think this morning it's going to be really fun because you're going to have someone that's merging into a new area that I think is really cool. And it just shows you that you can take your business and reinvent it and find new areas to expand. And so we have Cynthia today and we have Becky with Event Nanny. It looks like the room is completely packed. So we have two entrepreneurs presenting. They'll present for 6 minutes. Cynthia is going to present first, and then please, ask some questions, give some feedback. And then we're going to time things pretty tightly because we have two, but we want to give each entrepreneur their time, and then we'll have Becky come up and close us out with her presentation. So without further ado, unless you have questions of me, bathrooms are down the hall, child room's right there, coffee and coffee. I got it all? Are you all good? All right. Are we ready? Thanks, Nick. Are we ready? Yes. Cynthia, would you like to take the stage? Please welcome.
So good morning. I am Cynthia from Cynthia's Home Sweet Home. And we have actually been open for 17 years, but I do have a new venture that I'm trying to get going. So I'll get to that in a minute. I'm going to give you a little bit of backstory first. As I said, we've been there 17 years. For some reason, about 17 years ago, I was in a show at Barnstormers. I took a little walk, and I saw this building that was for sale, and something stupid in me said, hey, let's buy that building. So it's actually a pretty cool building. It's an old Sears house. And so we opened a restaurant. We bought it in September, and 3 weeks later, we opened a restaurant. So my idea was to give good home cooking to people. I always say that our tagline is comfort food at comfortable prices. So I felt that people needed homemade food, and it was all going very well for about a year. And then a restaurant opened up a couple of blocks from us, and business just died. So I thought, since business died, I actually woke up in the middle of the night, and I said to my husband, I think I'm going to kill somebody. So we've actually morphed into, we've morphed a lot of times. So my history is I've been cooking and baking for over 60 years. When I was a young girl, my friends would run home from school to watch Dark Shadows. Y'all remember Dark Shadows? Okay, I would run home from school and watch Julia Childs and the Galloping Gourmet. I've been cooking and baking for my family since I was 5, and that's what I love to do. So one of the things that I'm here about today is I don't get social media. I don't do it. I don't understand it. I'm terrible at photographs. What I like to do is cook and bake. I also feel that we're very strongly, at Cynthia's Home Sweet Home, we're devoted to our community. I feel that if you're lucky enough to own a business or manage a business, your first commitment is to your community. And that's where we've been all these years. During COVID, we made over 1,000 meals for the nurses because they didn't have time to stop and eat over at Asante. We're same thing with the Alameda fires. We made a lot of food, brought it to people down in Medford. I really feel strongly about giving back to our community. The flip side of that is, and I hope this doesn't go out there the wrong way, but the flip side of that is you want your community to support you. Okay? You want to hear from your community. You want people to come by. So as I said, we have been reinventing ourselves constantly, especially after COVID. COVID actually was really good for us because we, since we're small and we're owned, just family owned, we could instantly start doing meals for pickup. So we started doing that, and that worked really well. But we have invented ourselves constantly. And the biggest thing that we've reinvented is we started doing the murder mysteries. And it plays to both of my backgrounds, one being obviously cooking and baking, the other's theater and writing. So shortly after this restaurant that opened up a few blocks away from us and killed our business, my boys and I, we sat down and we wrote 37 different murder mysteries. And we had over 30 different events that we have canceled at the beginning of this year because we just weren't getting any feedback. We weren't getting any people coming in. So we've pared it down to 4 or 5 things that we do consistently. One is the Murder Mystery Dinner Theater, which is really all about comedy. I always tell people, sometimes people are sitting at the table taking notes. I'm like, oh, honey, don't take notes. It's not that serious. You know, we're just about comedy. In fact, last week, one of the ladies laughed so hard a tear ran down her leg. And I didn't realize before we started doing the murder mysteries how much it gives back to you to make people laugh. I feel that grown-ups don't play enough, and we don't laugh enough, and families don't play enough together. I've had families call me a week after they've been at a show and tell me that I've changed their relationship, especially with their tweens, because tweens are difficult. So I think that one of my actors says we should call it Murder Mystery Dinner Theater and Family Therapy. Because comedy really does, laughter, if you can come in and sit and break bread and laugh with your friends and family and go home laughing, and there are so many puns, they come fast and furious. We always tell people you'll get most of these when you're home brushing your teeth, and that's fine. So we're trying to make memories. We say we're creating memories one plate at a time. So what we've pared it down to is we do Murder Mystery Dinner Theater, we do a Queen's Tea, we do catering, we do dinner for pickup. We have a drive-through. If you don't feel like cooking, you drive through and you pick up your dinner. What more can you ask for? But one of the things that we do is we offer cooking classes. And this is what my new venture is. I'm not good at, Trevor, you can go to some of the other ones. So I brought these pictures, which are obviously terrible, to prove that I'm just not good at social media. I was named Employee of the Year. Yay. It took a bit of doing, but I got it. Yeah. So, yeah, we try to do things that are fun and silly. I've got little knives with blood on them. But as you can see in the photo, we do cakes, but the photos aren't good. So what I'm here discussing today is my new venture, which is I want to do a cooking class for children. And I want to put it on there's something out there called YouTube, I guess, I don't know. I actually want to be a network TV star, but that's like later on. So I've got all this stuff ready to do a kids cooking show. I've got scripts made, I've got cookbooks that they can order when they watch my show. I've got aprons they can order. I've got all these different themes, and I've got guests lined up. What I need is someone to help with social media. And this also, I've been a teacher, I've owned a preschool, so this is another thing that I'm just lumping all my talents together. And actually, 95% of teenagers say that they don't feel prepared to go out into the world and manage their own household, and one of those biggest things is cooking. They don't feel like they know how to cook. When I taught kindergarten, we would always talk about food and where food came from, and not a single one of my kindergartners knew that French fries came from potatoes, okay? And don't even discuss that the chicken they're eating is the same as the chickens that cluck around. So one of the things that I want to do is not just teach and share my passion of food and baking and cooking, but to help children learn to love it and to get out, and when they grow up, they're able to cook for their families and bake for their families and take care of their families. So that's my life in 6 minutes, and that is what I'm here is trying to get some feedback and some help. I actually went to PBS down in Medford, and I talked to them, and they said, nobody needs a kids cooking show. And I go, well, it's probably where you're wrong, but that's okay. So that's what I'm here for. I wanted to give you a little bit about our background. We cater. We are there. We're there on Saturdays. I'm really good at stabbing people. People ask how we've been married, what our secret is to being married 43 years. Well, stabbing each other helps, okay? So, thank you.
Yay. Thank you so much. Thank you. I love it. I love it. And you're hilarious, by the way. So I love that just rolls off the tongue. I have a question for you. Like, you know, the cooking show, love that. But I think you nailed the hammer on the like, whatever the phrase is now that the nail on the head, not the hammer. You have to have the hammer, whatever. With that being said, do you also look at, like, how do you make a list from a recipe? Like, I have a kid in my house that went to the grocery store the other day, stood there for an hour and a half and had no idea how to get groceries, and he's 20.
Yeah, and I do mentoring for the high school sometimes, and they brought some kids over that wanted to start a bakery. And nothing against the school system, not at all, but they had no clue. They didn't even know where to start. So I backed it up a little bit, and I had them do a logo, and they were good at that. And then I had them I said, well, pick one thing that you want to make and price it out. I explained to them. I taught them how to price it out. I showed them a list. They didn't know that flour came in a big bag. They didn't know how to do the math to figure out how many cups were in a bag of flour, how many cups I need, and what it's going to cost. So yes, I would do things like that. I actually have all the charts made for the first 5 or 6 classes that I want to do. And I want to not just cook and bake, but I want to teach like culture. Do you guys know every culture on the planet has a flatbread except ours, except America? Mm-hmm. So that's one of the things I wanted to start with, show the difference and how it works. I also love the science. I'll talk a lot about science. There's a lot of science in cooking. And when I was a kid, I loved cooking and baking, but I didn't like science because it was boring in school, and they made us cut worms up, right? So I didn't want to pay attention to that when we took science. But I want children to know that science is a huge part of cooking, and when you get the science right, your cooking and baking is right.
Love that. Yeah. All right, we have any more questions?
Well, that's what I need help with. I have done, if you look on our Facebook page, I do a lot of cooking little videos. People ask me, one was about pierogies. One person asked me, how do you make pierogies? One was about Japanese pancakes. So I guess in answer to your question, I would start with just doing them on our Facebook page. But my hope is to actually have, I guess, a YouTube page. And there isn't anything out there that is specifically child-focused. There are some that are grown-up-focused, but since I have a background in working with children, I have a degree in child psychology. With that and $5, I can buy a latte, right? But I do know how to teach, and I know how to reach children, and I know how to get them excited about it. So I'm hoping that eventually, I guess there's a thing called a YouTube channel, right? So, and then from there, someone's going to discover me, and I'm going to be on, the Food Network.
Could you do both? Could you have a live session and then just film it and stream it?
You mean would the filming be live?
Yeah.
As opposed to dead? What?
So
what I'm looking for is someone to help me with those things. Okay, I have the ideas. There's a whole bunch of books called Idea to Delivery, and that's what I need. I've got ideas all day long. The delivery, when it comes to social network, I don't know. I know there's a thing called YouTube, and I know there's cooking on it. So I guess that would be my first goal. Yeah. So someone would. What I need is a videographer that can make me look taller, thinner, and younger, and then put it out on YouTube. That's what we're looking for. Yeah.
So, great idea, love it. I got 2 kids at home. What are the age ranges for the kid? Who's your target audience? What type of kids are you trying to reach?
What my target?
Yeah.
Eventually, I would love to do more than one. Start with, well, right now we do cooking classes at the restaurant, and we say 5 and up. I have had younger kids, and it's usually fine. But I would like to do like a 5 to 8, and then a tween, and then teenagers. That would be my goal eventually, to do that. But for right now, I would somehow have to do something in between. I don't want it to be too juvenile, because I'd want older kids to start watching too. So I would say between 6 and 12, 6 and 10 probably. Yeah.
So I got a question. Are you going to teach the kids how to clean up their mess that they make?
Yes, that's good, because that's part of life skills, right? That is, yeah.
Yep.
And as she said, making your list. My mom always talked about the one thing she remembered, and she was a wonderful cook and baker, and the one thing she remembered about school, her home ec teacher taught them how to write out a timeline for Thanksgiving. And it's funny, every single year before Thanksgiving on all the morning talk shows, that's what they talk about, right? So a timeline to understand, how everything goes together. Yeah, there would be a lot of background and not lecturing, but kind of lecturing, yeah, how to do it. Anyone else?
So would doing a comedy treasure hunt for families, and one person gets the big prize, and everybody's competing in the family, would using the word comedy and treasure hunt be something you might be able to do along with the murder mysteries?
Oh, we do all sorts of things. I actually have a scavenger hunt that we do 3 or 4 times a year, where I send people downtown. We have a scavenger hunt, and we have family night on Fridays where we offer those kinds of things. We offer scavenger hunts, team building. We do team building classes, things like that. Yeah, I'm open to anything. Yeah, definitely.
What about doing mom jokes?
What?
This thing called a dad joke, which is a really bad joke that makes everybody go, oh my goodness. Could you get together with another woman and toss back and forth mom jokes?
Sure, give me a call.
I think
My phone number's right there. Give me a call.
Over here. Years back, some of our friends had some of your baked goods for catering, and they were wonderful. I drive by all the time, but I'm not sure, can we just go in there? Which entrance do we use, or is it a reservation-only type thing?
Well, thank you. That's a good question. We had a sign that someone broke the other day, and it was a sign that a customer made for me after our 5th sign got broken. So we had a sign that said catering and bakery. Right now, because I've had to quit, I pared it down. We had about 30 different things that we were offering every week, classes. We offer the space for meetings and things like that. We stopped all that. So in answer to your question, give me a call. And a lot of times people will write to me and they'll say, oh, I want to book online. I go, no, you don't. You want to talk to me because I want to tell you what we're doing. I want to explain the murder mystery to you because it's not for everybody. It is interactive, and I understand it's not for everybody. So I like to talk to people. And maybe that's why I'm not good at social media, because there's part of my brain that says, no, I want to talk to people. So yeah, give me a call. Questions?
Okay, we've
Yes.
got one last question back here.
Hi. So I said the same thing that you just said before. I'm CEO of the Y. That's my main thing I do full time. But I also have a golf business where I make high-end golf putters. This one. High-end golf putters. So I have to talk to each person. I like to talk to each person. But people don't like to do cold calls, kind of like to reach out. So on my social media, I talk to just kind of everyone a lot. So you're good at talking to people. just a suggestion for you. If you were to record that, like you're talking about, have that on your website so people can watch that, understand, and then do the online reservation. I've been in this town my entire life, and I haven't done your thing because I don't exactly know how to do it. But if I could register online after seeing a video explaining what it would happen, I think that would help my business once I started doing that. So that suggestion.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I need to work on. But yeah, I like to talk to people. So.
All right, thank you so much. She'll be here for questions and comments and everything else. And you did an amazing job. So we appreciate you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Claudia was just going to rip you off the stage, I guess. You're out of here. You're done here. Yeah, there's the door. No, but big hand for Cynthia. Cynthia, I love it takes a lot of, tenacity to decide to do something different and try something that you look around and it's fun and it's exciting. You're taking something like dinner and you're adding a show to it. And I love what you've done with that. And I also love the sort of resilience that you've displayed where you're trying a lot of different things. You're pivoting and trying different things and then coming here and sharing where your vulnerabilities are, where you feel like you're missing out and looking for help. And that is, that vulnerability is super important for us to be able to grow in our businesses. If we don't share what we're struggling with, no one knows what they can help us with, right? So thank you so much for being here.
Anyone who's an entrepreneur thinking of starting a business, have a backup plan. Things change all the time. Society is changing all the time. You need a backup plan, and you need to be willing to work because what our place looks like is so different than it was 17 years ago. You've got to.
Also, I think this personality and comedy on a cooking show is fantastic. I think that would be amazing, right? Like, you're hilarious, and I'm a little afraid at the same time. So it's perfect. It's a perfect combination. You keep us on our toes. Okay, so we're going to take a quick break while we get Becky set up, and then we have a second presentation coming up. Don't go anywhere. Just get yourself some more coffee. Slap a high five. We'll see you shortly.
Oh, Macedonia, California, ice cream Konya, San Antonio, Oskaloosa, Florida loser, Macedonia, leave me like California.
All righty. Hello, hello, hello. Can I get a woo? That's right. I like that. Can I get another one? Woo! Come on. Yeah, that's good. That's good. All right. Have a seat. Feeling great. We have a second amazing presentation for you today. And I would love to not take a lot more space up here, but just to say that this next one, Becky here with her business event, Nanny, she's going to tell you all about it. But she came to us a month and a half ago, and said, hey, there are people who have children who have an entrepreneurial spirit and would love to be able to come, but they just feel awkward because they have a child with them. So what if we try and fix that? She's going to tell you a little bit more about it, but because of Becky and her business, we now have a space where people with children can come and participate in this and not feel like they're putting anybody else out, and they also can focus on the event. So it really is an amazing thing. I'm going to hand it over to you. Becky Vaughn, please, everybody.
Can we all agree that Cynthia is the most natural, best speaker ever? Round of applause, please, for Cynthia. That was so amazing. Okay, now I got to get my wiggles out. Love is patient, you guys, and love is kind. But for the love of Pete, do not make your grandma watch 20 kids at your wedding. She does not want to. But I do. My name is Becky, and I am the owner of my event, Nanny. I'd love to get to know you guys a little bit better. Show of hands, who out there is a parent? Whoa, that's so many of you. Okay, and keep them up if you have a kid that's under the age of 10. Okay, quite a few. Now, while somebody gets you guys a second cup of coffee, because I know you really need it, I'd like to tell you a little bit about myself. This is my lovely family. My mom ran an in-home daycare called Top of the Hill Daycare when I was a kid. Sandy Vaughn's right there. Give a little wave. She's crying. I'm not going to look at her too much because it's going to make me cry. My mom was the first example of an entrepreneur that I ever had, although I didn't know the word for it then. What I knew was that I got to hang out with my mom every day. I had a gaggle of friends to play with and a mountain of toys. It was the best. Some kids want to be a doctor or a firefighter. Not me. I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. I always wanted to be a mom. Well, I met my beautiful husband, Jason, in 2007. We got married in 2010, and then I did not become a mom for 9 years, even though we tried. Yep, it took 9 years for us to get pregnant before we were blessed with my oldest son. And still, you would think I was prepared after 9 years. Nope, I wasn't prepared for the sleep deprivation or the physical toll of breastfeeding. I wasn't prepared for that low-grade anxiety that is with you all the time, but especially at 3 a.m. when you're Googling weird symptoms. What I was most surprised by were the feelings of isolation. I was with another human being 24/7. I was never alone, and yet I was painfully lonely. I had dreamed of being a mother. I had hoped for it. I had prayed for it, and still, I was gobsmacked by the weight of it, by the never tap out of it, the way that it quietly consumed every inch of me. What I would have given in those early years to put on a clean dress, wear a dangly earring, to eat a meal at a table with silverware while it was still hot, to have an adult conversation without being interrupted. My goodness, that would have been a dream. But also to just be seen as a whole human being, not just a mom. Early motherhood is beautiful, and it is poignant, and man, for a lot of us, is it painful. I will always remember what it feels like to vanish inside those early years of motherhood. You show up to events, but you're always on duty. Part of you is having a conversation with a friend, and the other one is watching your kid run and almost smack their head into a wall. When was their last snack? Do they need a potty break? Have they had enough water today? You're always doing that mental math and preparing for your exit, right? Kids are chaos. They are cute and unpredictable. They're hilarious and they are impulsive. Kids are danger magnets. Weddings and other adult-centered gatherings are not kid-friendly. Imagine you're 3 years old and your mom put you in this weird, itchy outfit, and that food that grandma gave you is gross. You skipped nap time, you're up past bedtime, the music's so loud, these lights are so bright. Can I have cake for dinner? Nope. Formal events are not kid-friendly. But you know what? They should be. And I should be using my slides. This is my son, John. We used to call him Mr. Muffins. He was very colicky. He cried a lot. He's very smart. This is my example of a cake thief, a bouquet assassin, and a diaper destroyer. You know, the regulars at a wedding. Let me tell you a little bit about My Event Nanny. My Event Nanny, we care for tiny humans during life's biggest moments. We provide trusted, on-location childcare for weddings and special events throughout Southern Oregon, and we specialize in care for children ages 0 to 8. Whether you need direct care for an infant and a toddler, you want a play chaperone for preschool-aged and older kids, or you just want the coolest kids corner in town, we've got you covered. We deliver reliable professional support so families can fully enjoy the day. So why choose My Event Nanny for your special day? Why not just get a bog standard babysitter? Well, My Event Nanny was purpose-built for events. All of our providers are CPR and first aid certified, background checked, and fully insured. More importantly, they're experienced in managing kids in fast-moving environments. But safety is just the baseline of our support. Before every event, I speak directly to families. I learn children's routines, parents' care preferences. I ask what helps the kiddo regulate, what might trigger overwhelm. I want to know their favorite cartoon character and their favorite color. We bring calm to the chaos. And we also bring a boatload of toys and snacks because that never hurts. Here is a larger reality to consider. Jackson and Josephine County are both considered child care deserts. So what that means is there are more families seeking care than there are providers able to give it. Now imagine trying to coordinate multiple vetted providers for a wedding weekend. Almost impossible. Well, that gap between what families need and what exists is where My Event Nanny steps in. We're not just solving a wedding problem, we're addressing a community shortage. At My Event Nanny, we believe that families shouldn't have to choose between celebrating life's biggest moments and caring for their children. Our services allow parents the space to relax and exhale, like I should do right now, knowing that the tiny humans that they love most are in highly qualified, trusted hands. That is the kind of peace that we deliver every time to every event. Thank you so much. I'd love to hear your questions.
Well done, well done. We love it. Love it.
How many children? Yeah. Really varies depending on the event. I've done everything from a single newborn, and then I've had requests for families wanting significant group care. I personally like the smaller ratios where I can make a really big impact for that kid and that family and highly customize the care for them. My favorite amount of kids is 2 to 3. I try to cap care around 12 kids because it starts becoming its own event after 12 kids. Any other questions?
Quick question. You said CPR certified. Do you do background checks? Are they vetted, things like that for when they're around kids? How do you keep a staff for such an ever-changing industry?
So all of our providers have to pass the CPR and pediatric CPR and first aid course. They give that to me. I provide that card to parents. I also provide their background checks directly to parents, and they get that the month of. So that's an expense, but I feel like for parents to feel like they can trust us, we need to be showing up with those credentials every time. The type of caregivers that I personally seek out are usually women, but people that have a background in early education. They've been in child care for a long time. We get a lot of teachers that, they do their Monday through Friday, and then they can gig at a wedding in an evening or a weekend setting. Yeah. I don't have any mom jokes, if you ask me that.
This is actually less of a question, more of a, here's
Oh,
your order that's
yay!
been fulfilled, your brand new name tags.
Thank you. Well,
Yeah.
can I talk about this for a second?
Yeah, go ahead.
So one of the things that we do to make things really easy for families is we color coordinate badges, which TJ from Jefferson Graphics has made for me. So like, let's say I'm the red nanny. I'll have a red badge, a red belt, your kid will get a red wristband. And then it's really easy for kids to say, oh, I'm wearing red, find red. Same with parents if they're feeling stressed. It's one more touch point that we can make sure everybody stays cared for well.
I got more colors for you on the way. I know you ordered
I
6.
just couldn't,
have
I
3.
couldn't hold more than 3 at a time, so that was
Yeah.
perfect.
I guess it was a blessing in disguise.
Yes.
Could you talk a little bit about logistics, like how much lead time you need to be at an event, and maybe do you need a unique space at that event, depending on
Such a good question. Okay, so my preference is at least 3 months lead time because that gives me time to interface personally with each family. Building that trust really starts in those first phone calls with family, and I like to have enough time that they can think of questions and bounce them off me as we go. In terms of the venue space, if you can put a closed door on it, that's helpful for little kids that might have high anxiety, runners. Doors are helpful for that. If you have a wide open venue, then you would need to up your staff to make sure that each staff member has a really low ratio of kids with them so that they can keep physical touch with those kids at all times.
How do you handle it if you're at a wedding and you have a set amount of kids, but then all the other parents with kids see you and say, oh, that's a great idea, and last minute they start trying to pawn their kids off on you?
Surprise children. Yeah, that happens. I really try to tell, especially brides and grooms, ahead of time, like, hey, these parents are saying maybe they want childcare. Plan on them having childcare. Because once they see that it's available and everybody's having fun, those kids are going to end up in your childcare space regardless, and those parents deserve a break too. I would rather have one extra staff member and be fully within my ratios than to not have enough care. I never want to have not enough care. That said, my second event, we were prepared for 3 and 4-year-olds. And then I started seeing baby, 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 baby come in. And that's a really high, like that's a 1-to-1 ratio, 1 adult per 1 baby. We didn't have the staffing to safely accommodate that. So at that point, I would have to say to parents, you know, I'm really sorry. Maybe we can trade out as the night goes, kind of like at a club. You know, like, oh, baby number 1 is out, baby number 2 comes in. We can do something like that too.
What does your business look like in 3 years, ideally, for you?
I would love to expand into more corporate spaces like this and not just the wedding industry. I want something to fill out my calendar Monday through Friday. I also want to do pop-up events at different places like Little Beans Play Cafe. Shout out to Little Beans, which is amazing, where I'm teaching things like art history and science and kind of improving care for older kids that are over 8. Most of my wheelhouse is 0 to 8.
I was just wondering more on your future of that, but also this seems like something maybe would be a good franchise.
I would love to
start out
franchise.
but maybe not now, but at least do all your structuring to get a franchise going with this and then let it fly.
Yeah, I think it could be something that would be valuable, small scale just within our valley. Like I have a group that's my Ashland group that's always there. I have a group that's my Medford group and my Grants Pass group, and then the world. No.
First of all, you killed it. I told you you would.
I was so close to crying.
Come on now. Come on now. You
We
killed
did
it. I just want to say what you do is super commendable. I don't have kids, so my 2 cents isn't really worth 2 cents. But watching people that I grew up with have kids, the ones that stayed the happiest were the ones who were able to keep some semblance of their own identity. And when parents lose themselves in the children, it becomes really hard to differentiate. So I think what you're doing is really cool, and I think it's super important. So I just want to say that.
Thank you so much.
Do we have any more? Oh. We'll do 2 more questions and then we'll get it wrapped up.
Trevor's ready. He's ready. He's ready. He's ready.
I would love to see what you're doing, franchise, and I have all the hope for you in the world. What are your current constraints? Like, what steps 1 through 5 in order to help you get beyond what challenges and all the things? I'm really
Yeah, such a good question. I feel like a limiting factor for me is finding care providers that I would personally trust with my own kids. So if I wouldn't let somebody watch my kids, there's no way I'm going to staff that person. And that's hard to find, someone that's willing to do gig work. I'm also really looking for someone who's bilingual. That's a constraint that I have that I can't meet myself, so having a bilingual nanny would be really great. Otherwise, constraints, it's a pretty nimble business. My overhead is low because it's me and a bag of toys, and I can go anywhere with a smile on my face. So in that way, I'm not super limited by the space so much as having the people that can care for the children.
It was mentioned that husbands and wives sometimes need some time when it's just them. Yeah. Could you have a drop-off point on Friday and Saturday nights where you'd have a certain amount of people and people could book it ahead so mom and dad could get some reconnection time?
Possibly. So you're talking about more of a daycare model, which is a little bit different than what I do. Night care, like respite care. One of my concerns with that is that, you know, if mom and dad are going out and having a really fun night, they need to be fully prepared to step back into the role of parent when they come back, which means not being inebriated and being safe to handle those kiddos. That may be an area that I approach down the road, but currently I want parents to be on site with me. We're a team, and I think that that teamwork is what makes the dream work right now.
So they still feel some autonomy with the kids somewhere else and they're having adult conversations.
Totally. And like for me, my kid was a real anxious guy. And if I would have left him anywhere, he would have freaked out. So for my child to know that his parent was there, that was really important. And actually, Annie is here with playgroups. She made my first point of care really accessible because parents were with their kids at playgroups. And it kind of started a light bulb for me, like, oh, how can we care for kids and give parents a little bit of space, but they're still there. We're still there with them at the event, so everybody's, you know, anxiety stays as low as possible.
Okay, we will end it with, what is the one thing this community can do for you? How can we best help you get to that next level or alleviate some pain points?
If you know people that are very good child care providers that would want gig work, we're talking nights and weekends, please send them my way, especially if you know someone who's bilingual or specializes in SPED. That's really important to me. If you can connect me to any venue owners and just say like, hey, Becky's really great and she's gonna keep people from marring your venue, that would be great. Otherwise, just spread the word. I'm on Instagram at event.nanny, and I would love a follow. You can see all of my slime recipes. They're very good. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Amazing, amazing. And I just wanted to say thank you for enhancing this experience for all of us. Creating the space back there, I think, is truly a game-changing opportunity to be able to continue to elevate what we're offering here, right? And I think that being an entrepreneur and having a child should not be mutually exclusive situations, right? Yeah. So especially in the day and age we live right now, you can absolutely do both of those things. And I appreciate your tenacity of, she was like, we should set this up here. And I was like,
Yeah, I
we
asked,
should set it
I'm
up.
like, hey, what are the limitations to me doing this tomorrow? And you said none, so that was great.
Let's do it.
Let's
Yeah.
do it. Yeah, supporting families when they're young, when they're struggling, when things are really hard, I think is a great way to build our community, make it a safer, happier place. So the more we can wrap our arms around young families, it's going to benefit all of us. So, yeah.
Totally. And also, we have a venue sponsor here, which is the Hivve. We also have a coffee sponsor, which is the Lonely Pine. We are looking for some sponsorship for the Event Nanny service that we offer. Right now, Becky's just doing it. She's just doing it and helping out, but also she's augmenting her service. There's snacks and stuff for the kids and things like that. So it wouldn't have to be a ton, but we are looking for some businesses to partner with to sponsor the event, the nanny.
Yeah, the child care space,
care
and just
space,
to help with some of the consumables that we're going through weekly and replace toys as they will inevitably get broken. That would be great.
So if that speaks to you, please hit myself or Kim or Becky up and let us know, and we would love to work with you. So awesome.
Yay.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Big hand for Becky.
Yay, thank you guys.
And this personality too, right? So much fun, so much fun. So thank you. And again, just kudos. Becky saw a need here, stepped up, and just decided she was going to contribute and offer her services to help all of us here and to help the moms and dads come out that have kids. And I couldn't appreciate it more. So thank you so much. Yeah. And thank all of you for coming and being here each and every week, supporting each other, supporting with the work that we're doing here, and answering our phones. So you all have a great day, and we will see you next Wednesday, 9:30 to 10:30. Have a great week.